Welcome everyone again. This is the second webinar focused on sustainable agriculture in Africa. Today's theme is on connecting farmers to markets. And most estimates suggest, nearly a third of the goods never make it to the market. What causes such a big loss, and how do you, from your perspective, how does it affect the farmers?
It's a matching problem. It's a visibility problem, right? When you sit down and you talk to people, what they're really looking to do is to make more money, right? It makes sense. So the key thing is not only to produce goods of value, but to make sure that they get into the value chain at the right time. And as a result, the farmers and the farming communities, we're talking about 1.5 billion people around the world, those small farming communities realize the value.
Because it was a term I didn't know a couple of years ago, but your main strategy is what's called community block farming. I was wondering if you could describe exactly what that is to the audience today.
We have very serious challenges in Africa in reaching scale. So what we have done with the community block farming is to bring farmers together in blocks of roughly 500 hectares. So when these farmers come together in a large block of that size, they become, in essence, a commercial farm and are able to enjoy the economies of scale that commercial farms can enjoy.
I see one of the most important things is behavioral change, and one of the biggest obstacles is trust. And working together, it truly does take a village, you were saying earlier. So, you've got a whole raft of people focusing on helping the farmers improve their yield, improve their quality. The whole idea is to get better product with a higher market value. Now, you don't work in that space so much. You're taking a different approach and focusing more on connecting those producers to the buyers. And you want to do that at scale. So I guess the obvious question, because I don't know other people who are doing quite what you're doing in such a focused way, why have you chosen to do that?
The first thing you talked about, Adam, was culture change, right? And everybody who's ever worked on the continent knows just how many fancy ideas have been launched into the space that had no bearing on the reality of an actual farmer, right? So one of the things that we wanted to do from the outset was to create a system that was a solution that was simple, right? That was something that fit the way that farmers actually worked and fit the way that farmers actually thought. The key thing that we have noticed is the transaction rules. That's number one. Everything else is subsidiary to the transaction. You need to put more money in people's hands. And the second thing is that we're not using data at scale in the way that we could. We're in this historical moment where connectivity is improving and where the demographics are working in our favor, where we can really make some real quantum leaps in terms of the way that we leverage data for the benefit of farming communities.